Hey guys, it's traxxas21 with an update. So there's two slashes here, of course, that kind of isn't regular. This is not a new RC, but it is a converted RC. As you can see here, this is my Rustler's chassis. So this is a slash two-wheel drive. The LCG kit, Proline trencher tires, RPM front and rear bumpers with the light canisters for the front. Should be getting some for the rear as well. And this is the Proline Chevy Silverado 1500 body. I really like how this body is made up. In the rear, it looks like it's going to hold up fairly well, but I'm not too sure about that. But other than that, I just went with a simple paint job with black and silver stripes and some silver back here. And minimal decals. Team Chevy here and Chevy there, and back there is Proline. Proline Power Strokes, and I got the fans, and up there is Proline. Now I am running the Rustler's original system in it, which is just the Valenian motor and ESC, and I am running a Electron Pro 7600 mAh 75C. This is a 2-cell. So far, they performed very well, and they are hard case. So, yes, and if you do want to convert your Rustler or Stampede into a slash two-wheel drive, you don't have to do this with the Bandit, but the Rustler and the Stampede have longer rear A-arms, so you're gonna have to get the slash A-arms. Now, if you're gonna convert from a Rustler to a Stampede or something, or a Stampede, I'd just go with RPM. And since I already had green A-arms all the way around, I just decided to just get green A-arms. Another thing that I did as well is ST Racing Concepts hinge pins with the nuts on the ends. I strongly recommend this upgrade because with the stock pins, they'll back out and bend, and they're horrible. But these, they allow smooth operation, and they're hardened steel, which the stock ones are just steel. So getting this off here, and throwing it on the floor. Now with the slash. Now, if you've watched my last update review video, whatever you want to call it, this has changed a ton from that video. So first of all, you can tell, maybe you can if you don't know what they're called, but these are Proline trenchers, mounted front and rear. And if you see the under chassis, I'll get to that in a minute. RPM bumpers, front and rear. I'm taking off the stock body, which hasn't been run ever. RPM shock towers, front and rear. RPM A-arms, front and rear. Now, I'd say that the A-arms and the shock towers are like the most it's the biggest necessity for this vehicle, like upgrade-wise. But other than that, the low center of gravity chassis. I got this off of Amazon and haven't run it yet, but it does put a lot of stuff really low down to the ground. I don't have the stock chassis on hand right now, it's in my toolbox, but this chassis, the only complaint that I have about it is kind of getting this front section on, because if you see these two dimple things here, that's where the shock the steering bell cranks are, and the screws fit up into there, and it's kind of annoying lining up the drive shaft and the getting it all seated in. But once you get it all seated in, it goes together fairly well. Also, underneath, don't tighten that screw. Leave it loose. Just remove this screw when you're putting it on, and then after it's all set, all seated and proper, then get your steering link and turn your wheels like this, and then you can tighten that screw down. So that's just a quick tip. They didn't give me, the kit didn't provide new screws for the rear skid plate diff bottom housing thing. But it didn't with the front either. But one thing with the RPM bumper that I found is you can use the stock screws, but they are longer, and I'm kind of worried about them maybe getting up into the diff housing itself and like scraping the gears and just destroying it. So these are the stock screws. They do hold the bumper just fine, so no complaints there. But this, I also did get the center diff done by Traxxas. It's like $45 or something. But it comes with fairly stiff oil in it, stock, so I don't think it's going to act much like a center diff, but I do have it. So that'll hopefully save the drive shafts, because these are the stock ones. Because on a 3-cell, which mine kind of puffed a lot, this motor will destroy drive shafts. This is the Castle SCT with the 100,000 RPM max or something. And one thing that I had problems with is these are the wires for the switch. The switch kind of like bugs out and doesn't let you turn it on, and it gets like really fidgety. So I just took the wires, soldered them together, and wrapped them in electrical tape, and then just hot glued them. And also, if you're wondering how I attached the ESC, I just hot glued it down. It should hold fairly well, so I don't really have any concerns about that. But I also did redo the front and rear diff. I put Team Low-C's, Team Low-C Racing 50,000 weight in the rear, because my hobby shop was out of factory team 60K. So, and then in the front, I got factory team 10K diff oil. It works. The front is like stock, but the rear is stiffer. Like, it almost doesn't want to turn. So it's pretty stiff. But other than that, I don't really have any complaints with the diff oil. I am going to try and start uploading a little bit more regularly, like once a week or so. Maybe twice a week if I have the time. But this RPM rear bumper looks really good with the stock body. No complaints there. Also on the 2-wheel drive, it looks good. That 2-wheel drive, I'm thinking of, because here in San Pedro, there's a new track that has opened up. And it's for 1/16 scale vehicles and 1/18 scale vehicles. It's at the PV Mall somewhere. I don't exactly know where in the PV Mall, but it's on the 2nd level, I believe. So that was opened by my local hobby shop. So that's pretty cool. They officially opened that track up on Saturday, I think. Yeah, Saturday or Sunday. So I'm probably gonna be there with both of these vehicles. I don't know. There's a stock body. But other than that, this about wraps it up for this video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Keep RCing.